Sarah, and I'm your teen librarian here at Bentonville Public Library. Today I'm giving you a book talk. This book talk has books that feature the American Revolutionary War in some way. All these books here on display are also available in our Libby app, so if you like any of the recommendations I give today, please go ahead and check those out on Libby Overdrive. So the first one I'm talking to you about is Nathan Hales' Hazardous Tales, Lafayette. This is a graphic novel. It is nonfiction, so it tells the story of Lafayette in a graphic novel format. So that's kind of interesting. You can just kind of flip through those pages and see the story unfold. Why I recommended this one today, because I wanted to give something for readers who do like graphic novels and enjoy nonfiction and also enjoy humor. These are very humorous graphic novels, but it's also a fun story. So the back of the book says, Nathan Hales' Hazardous Tales are graphic novels that tell the thrilling, shocking, gruesome, and true stories of American history. So if you like American history and humor, this is a great book for you. The next book is a different genre. It is fiction. It is historical fiction, and it has a little romance in it because it's about one of the great American power couples, Alex and Eliza, which is the title of the book. Alex and Eliza, a love story, written by Melissa Dela Cruz, who is a New York Times bestselling author. This is a series, I believe it's a trilogy. I'm just going to read a little bit from the beginning of the book here. As battle cries of the American Revolution echo in the distance, servants flutter about preparing for one of New York society's biggest events, the Skylarks Grand Ball. Descended from the oldest and most distinguished bloodlines in New York, the Skylarks are proud to be one of the fledgling country's founding families, and even prouder still of their three daughters, Angelica with her razor-sharp wit, Peggy with her dazzling looks, and Eliza, whose beauty and charm rivaled those of both her sisters, though she'd rather be aiding the colonists' cause than dressing up for some silly ball. Still, Eliza can barely contain her excitement when she hears the news of the arrival of one Alexander Hamilton, a mysterious young colonel of General George Washington. Though Alex has arrived as the bearer of bad news for the Skylarks, he can't believe his luck, as an orphan, to be in such esteemed company. And when Alex and Eliza meet on their fateful night, so begins an epic love story that would forever change the course of American history. So if you like a little romance and historical fiction, this is a great pick for you. So speaking of Alexander Hamilton, we couldn't do this book talk without the musical. So this is a nonfiction book. It's very big. But look at all those illustrations and photographs. So if you really love the musical, you listen to the music like I do, you're going to really enjoy this book. It's called Hamilton, the Revolution. And it's all about how they put the musical together. So from the very beginning of what the concept was, how he was inspired to write the book, you're going to really enjoy this one. And this one is on Libby as an audio and ebook. Then we have two books by Hales Anderson that I'm going to discuss, but the first one I'm going to talk about is this one here. This is a series. This happens to be book 2 in the series. Chains is book 1 by Hales Anderson. It is a trilogy about the American Revolutionary War from two different slaves' point of view. So the first one is all about the main character, Isabel's fight for freedom from being a slave to a free person. The next one is about the Battle of Valley Forge, and this is the summary of this book. The young soldiers at Valley Forge are suffering. Their newly forged bonds of friendship might help them survive, but the chains of Corazon's past threaten to shackle him again. Surrounded by the fires of ignorance, mistrust, and greed, Corazon can't risk sharing his deadly secrets. Does he have the mettle to hold on to his freedom? Is he strong enough to find the answer to the hardest question of all? Is Isabel still alive? Who is the protagonist of the first book. So this is a trilogy, and it is a historical fiction that takes place during the American Revolutionary War. Hales Anderson, who also happens to be one of my favorite authors of all time, has also written another book set during this time period, except it's really after, so 1793. So it's not about the American Revolutionary War, but it's a time period after, and it does name drop some famous people during that time period, like Benjamin Franklin. So the main character of this story is Maddie. She and her mom own a inn, and she's got dreams to make it one of the most popular inns in America. But something happens. A epidemic strikes, yellow fever. So Maddie's whole world is turned upside down, and she has to actually flee the city to escape the yellow fever. So this one I do think is actually timely, even though it is historical fiction. I think we can see a lot of our world, what's going on in our world today, play out in this book. So if you like suspense, drama, and survival stories, this is a great one. And that concludes today's book talk. I hope you do get to download any of the ones that you found interesting, that you found one that you really do want to read, and then maybe you can, in the comments, even write a suggestion of some other books that you'd like to recommend about this time period, or maybe suggestions on future book talks that we